Hello, thank you for taking time out. This video is on the Nakshatra Vishakha. Vishakha falls in the sign of Libra and Scorpio, and as per mythology it's ruled by Lord Agni and Lord Indra. Lord Agni is the god of fire and Lord Indra is known to be the king of the heavens. So as usual, I'm going to be sharing the mythology linked to Lord Agni and Lord Indra first, and later we'll go through how different planets behave in Vishakha. Lord Agni is the god of fire. Lord Agni is also known to be the king of the Brahmins, the leader of the Brahmins. The Brahmins, as per mythology, are known to preserve ancient knowledge, so right conduct prevails in the society. Knowledge, wisdom, by extension the teachers, they belong to the caste of the Brahmins, and Lord Agni is the leader. In the video posted on the Nakshatra of Kritika too is ruled by Lord Agni. It mentioned Tejas, intelligence. Lord Agni is known to bestow that wisdom, the fire within us that burns the veil of delusion. That is thanks to Lord Agni. Lord Agni, therefore, is directly linked to spirituality. It also keeps us warm. It's known to cook our food. However, Lord Agni is known to burn incessantly. We often hear of wildfires. So when Lord Agni expresses its extreme form, it's uncontrollable. So Lord Agni has a dual character. It's important for you to understand that this nakshatra has a lot to do with duality. Lord Agni is also known to be the leader of the Vasus, and the Vasus are known to have sovereignty over earth. The point I'm trying to make is Vishakha is a lot about leadership due to Lord Agni's role in the cosmic hierarchy. Similarly now, Lord Indra, who also is ruling this nakshatra, Lord Indra is known to be the king of the heavens. He is known to be the leader of the Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas are known to belong to the caste of warriors. They are known to fight injustice. They are known to maintain law and order, and Lord Indra is their leader. So once again, leadership. Vishakha is one of the most formidable nakshatras. This nakshatra is a lot about winning battles. Lord Indra is known to defeat the demons, but in doing so, Lord Indra is known to use force. Brutality is associated with Lord Indra's discharge of justice. So yes, Lord Indra is the king of heavens, and therefore there is divinity linked to his character. There's another side to Lord Indra, too, the warrior side. One of the symbols linked to Vishakha is a two-forked branch, which symbolizes coming together of two different energies. Lord Agni, which brings knowledge and wisdom, and Lord Indra brings fearlessness and leadership. And together they come together to defeat the dark forces. They are responsible for maintaining law and order. Lord Agni's association with divinity ensures all battles fought in Vishakha do not go beyond reason. It's an opportune time for me to highlight this nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter signifies doing the right thing, and this nakshatra is about doing the right thing, fighting a battle against injustice. Therefore, I often see lawyers have a very strong Vishakha's influence in their charts. Individuals working in defense forces can have Vishakha's influence. Political leaders, even athletes have a strong Vishakha's influence. Any profession which is linked to fighting a battle is Vishakha linked. Every battle that's fought of any kind, whether it's a war or a tennis match, requires endurance, resilience, persistence. So it wouldn't be of any surprise to you, the planet that signifies all of it, Saturn, is exalted in this section of the sky. Vishakha is only the second nakshatra jointly having an influence of Jupiter and Saturn. The other nakshatra is Pushya, which is ruled by Saturn, and Jupiter is exalted in that nakshatra. In Vishakha we find the reverse, Jupiter ruling it and Saturn is exalted. Saturn being exalted here is also symbolic that this nakshatra demands accountability. So you fight the long battle for justice, but you're also held responsible for your actions. Here is where this nakshatra is very unique. It's amongst the only two nakshatras which have the nature classified as mixed. Both Tikshana, which translates to sharp, and Mridhu, which translates to soft. So whilst a Vishakha native might be fighting a battle on principle, the native can become over-ambitious, extremely competitive, may possess a winning at all costs attitude, may become uncompromising, may even cause injury to others to win a battle. Furthermore, the native can become power hungry and may see nothing wrong in one's doings. The means to the end goal become immaterial. The end goal becomes the main objective. So there's an extreme side directly linked to the Vishakha native, that Tikshana side. And the native can even bypass the law, may even not respect the law. In pursuit of one's goals, the native might be blinded by one's ambitions. Therefore, this nakshatra has the gana, the temperament belonging to a demonic force. So there's an extreme aspect linked to Vishakha. Vishakha is all about winning, but the means are as important. And this is where the position of Jupiter becomes very important. If Jupiter is in a strong position, then Vishakha's energy would be expressed to help the society, to fight for the ones who cannot fight for themselves. However, if Jupiter's position is weak, the native can become self-serving. Moon is debilitated in this nakshatra, in the sign of Scorpio. And therefore I believe the native can resort to manipulative behavior, can even become obsessed with success, can even become addicted to power, and this can lead to mental agony. The person keeps chasing the wrong goals in life and starts chasing them through wrong means. The good news is the divinity linked to Lord Indra and Lord Agni, and Jupiter being its ruler, they together make sure the guna, the quality of Vishakha, is sattvic, selfless. So on the whole, on balance, I believe there is more positive associations with Vishakha than negative. This nakshatra is very unique, and therefore it belongs to the caste of an outcast. The individual can be someone who follows one's own path. Jupiter and Saturn's association with Vishakha indicates the native would be very mature, very brave, very independent, may independently go after the world, would be very resilient, very persistent, would overcome and defeat enemies in one's life. This would also depend in which sign does Vishakha fall in the Navamsha chart. So if it's the sign of Aries, the competitiveness would be the main highlight. You'd be a brave person willing to take on challenges which others might find very daunting. If it's the sign of Taurus, you might also be well known. You might also be able to make a name for yourself, not only being renowned for defeating your enemies or for your bravery, you may also create a self-identity. If it's the sign of Gemini, perhaps you'll be fighting your battles with the use of arguments like a lawyer does. You'll be more social and flexible than the other signs. And if it's the sign of Cancer, here is where Moon is debilitated, and the sign of Cancer would be possible if Vishakha falls in the sign of Scorpio. This is the one where the person can fall prey to addictions and manipulative behavior. So the negative side here of Vishakha might be more prominent. So Jupiter's position would become very critical. I'd like to share a few examples. Mahatma Gandhi, he has Mars in Vishakha. He was a lawyer before he became this political leader, and Jupiter in his chart is in Kritika. So his fight was on principle. Another fighter is Oprah Winfrey, who also has Mars in Vishakha. So I'm trying to highlight fighters who have fought life. In the case of Oprah Winfrey, I found her rising to be Moola, which in my view is behind her unfortunate beginnings. Two great examples: Margaret Thatcher, known to be someone who will not go back on her word. She described herself as the lady who wouldn't turn, or the lady who's not for turning. That's Saturn's energy there, and she has Saturn in Vishakha. Saturn is exalted in her chart. Another great example is Steve Jobs. His resilience, his persistence to build a business, he too has Saturn in Vishakha. Furthermore, Jupiter in his case is placed in Punarvasu, and Punarvasu belongs to businesses. So therefore in his case, his resilience was in the business sector. Two other great examples: Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, the German commander, he has Sun in Vishakha. This, in my view, apart from other planetary positions in his chart, are behind his competitive nature and choice of career specifically, as Sun is in Vishakha. And a great example now is Dalai Lama. He has Jupiter in Vishakha. Through his teachings on a spiritual plane, he's guiding the society. He's trying to promote right conduct. If his time of birth is correct, Jupiter incidentally is ruling his career house. Another great example is Roger Federer, who has Moon in Vishakha. The reason why I've selected a wide range of examples was to help you understand careers linked to Vishakha. Any profession where a person is fighting a battle, whether it's legal in nature, political, or in the sphere of sports, or it's in business, or you're fighting for social welfare, social workers can have a very strong Vishakha's influence. So I hope these examples and the mythology linked to Vishakha has made sense to you. So if Moon is found in Vishakha, firstly it's a difficult position, particularly if the sign is Scorpio, as Moon would be debilitated there. So in that case, the native may find one's goals to be one's enemies. You may become so ambitious that it starts playing on your mind. It starts affecting your mental health, and you may even resort to using the wrong means to achieve your goals. On the bright side, I think you'll be very resilient, very persistent. Those are qualities of Vishakha that would shape your thinking. You may go through difficulties if Vishakha falls in the sign of Scorpio, but you can become an expert in understanding the issues others are going through. Empathy might become one of your strengths. I think you'll get influenced by your surroundings. If you see someone occupying a leader's position somewhere in some domain, you'd want to replicate that person's success. Moon is highly impressionable, and in Vishakha you get attracted to the idea of you occupying a leader's position somehow. On the whole, Moon Vishakha isn't a strong position, particularly if the sign is Scorpio. It's a much better position if the sign is Libra. Proper guidance in life would be crucial. The position of Jupiter would be crucial. Sun in Vishakha is a strong position, firstly, as Sun and Jupiter share an excellent relationship, and the purpose behind everything you do is to win a battle, defeat your enemies, and find yourself as the king, as a leader. Sun Vishakha, in my view, amongst all the planets in different nakshatras, belongs to the ones who are most ambitious. Your ambition is going to be never ending, just like the fire that burns incessantly, uncontrollably. That fire, that desire for leadership would continue to burn inside you. If Jupiter is strongly placed, that can lead to you searching for answers within, and in that case your ambitions might be to taste that divine nectar on a spiritual plane. Here your battles are going to be fought within reason. You'll fight issues on principle, and you'll be known for your consistency. If you take a stand on something that I think this is wrong, you'll stand your ground. You'll be known for your word of honor. People would rely on your leadership to defeat the enemies. So the ones working in the armed forces, the defense forces, can have Sun in Vishakha. Earlier I had quoted the example of Erwin Rommel. The major downside here is ego comes in the way. If Vishakha falls in the sign of Libra, and due to Sun and Venus being Libra's ruler, Sun and Venus's weak relationship, ego comes in the way of your relations, whether they are in your personal life. If Sun, for example, is in Vishakha in the 7th house, then that becomes an issue. You feel your partner is not respecting you enough, or you are not commanding the relationship. You demand to be in a dominant position. If Sun Vishakha finds itself in the career-related houses, then you have difficulty in following directions. You want to be the leader, you want to be in command. So relations both in your personal and professional life are likely to suffer. On the whole, I think Sun Vishakha make the best warriors, whether your war is in the corporate sector or on a battlefield or in sports or in a courtroom. Sun Vishakha like individual can be relied upon to defeat others. That's my view. Mercury Vishakha leads to battle now, fought with intellect. So this can translate to you being a business intelligence officer who is defeating your competitors based on your data analysis. Like investment bankers, they are always competing with other investment banks, so they use data to understand patterns in the market and try to build an investment strategy better than the competitors. So your fight is on a mental plane, on an intellectual plane. That essentially is the point I'm trying to make. The native can also be an excellent debater and therefore can be a barrister, where you present your views in a way that you not only challenge the opposing view, you also defeat the opposing view on logic, on reason. Within the business sector, Mercury is directly linked to businesses, and so is the sign of Libra. So together, this can lead to a business strategist, where the whole purpose is to expand the influence, to defeat other players in the market, to have a higher market share. The major downside is going to be fickle behavior. If the strategy you are working on to achieve your goal, if it doesn't lead to timely results, you're likely to change your strategy. So in a way, it's a strength too. You'll be flexible with your approach, but not very dependable to follow through with the strategy you've built for yourself. And lastly, Mercury and Jupiter do not share the best relationship. So you may have some goals, but on a philosophical plane you might feel, what am I doing? Like working to expand a business, but also having the awareness that by such expansion you are going to be behind failing local businesses. So there'll always be this conflict going in your mind that yes, we have to achieve this, but on a philosophical plane you'll question the purpose behind your goals. So it's an okay position, not very strong, not very weak. Venus Vishakha is going to lead to you being a strategic relationship builder. You'll know who to partner with and how to grow that partnership to achieve your goals. Big businesses, even countries, require partners, and a Venus Vishakha-like individual can be behind in creating that partnership, building that partnership. In relationships, the native would be highly competitive. Here the native would want to be in a position which is that of a leader. The native would want to be the dominant partner, particularly if the sign is Scorpio, and this can lead to misunderstandings on that plane. The relations that the native might build may not be on equal footing. You are likely to be less compromising, and this can lead to issues in your personal life. The creative energy linked to this planetary position can lead to the native seeking recognition that I would like my art to be featured in that museum. So the purpose behind one's creations would be to have more influence in the society. Within the finance sector, as Venus signifies money, the person can be a strategic investor and a strategic relationship builder. The person might have a very bright future in the finance sector. And lastly, Venus is a signifactor of desire, and therefore the person, the native, might crave leadership. Craving is never positive, so this is something the native would need to overcome or control better. And craving can even lead to addictions, and I had earlier mentioned Vishakha can lead to addictive behavior. So altogether, I'm not finding Venus in Vishakha to be a strong position. Mars Vishakha leads to you fighting a battle, and that being the main purpose of your life. Mars belongs to the caste of a Kshatriya, even though Vishakha doesn't belong to this caste, the caste of warriors, of Kshatriyas. Vishakha is all about fighting battles, which Mars is really good at. I had given you the example of Mahatma Gandhi, who fought for the nation. Lawyers can have Mars in Vishakha. Now, importantly, Mars and Jupiter share an excellent relationship. So this is a strong position. Your fight is going to be on principle, and more often than not, you are going to be able to overcome your enemies. If it's the sign of Scorpio, you'll be even more daring, even more competitive, and can even be extremely strategic in defeating your enemies. Mars Vishakha in the sign of Scorpio, in my view, is a very formidable planetary combination. The main downside is your uncompromising nature and you going to the extreme. The person can have winning at all costs attitude. Jupiter's position here becomes super critical. The native can find oneself working in a leader's position in the engineering sector. The native can be an innovator of some kind. The native would not be afraid to take on any challenge, whether it's technical in nature or is risky on a physical plane. The native would be full of energy and passion. Only other downside I see is the native isn't going to be a team player. Think when Jupiter is in Vishakha, the divinity linked to Lord Agni is going to help you see which battles to fight. I had given you the example of Dalai Lama, who has Jupiter in Vishakha. So you then start, I believe, guiding others to fight for the right things. You promote right conduct. You maintain law and order. You become an inspiration for others to fight for things which are worth fighting for. So your fight here, your battles rather, are on a philosophical plane. They are driven by a philosophy. They have a higher purpose. I find Jupiter Vishakha to be a very, very strong position. If your purpose in life is to be recognized in the society, Jupiter Vishakha can lead to that. Recognition, leadership, growth opportunities, foreign travel opportunities. So you have your influence not only in your home community, you may even find yourself having an impact, leaving an impact rather in places foreign to you. The sattvic guna attached to Vishakha would be seen in your character. I think you'll become very generous when you help people. I think generosity, selflessness, right conduct is going to be part of your character. One of the symbols of Vishakha is a triumphant gateway which symbolizes victory. Jupiter Vishakha, I believe, guarantees victory. Firstly, you're not going to fight for issues which are not worthy. And secondly, when you do make an effort, Jupiter's energy is going to make sure the results are in your favor. So this is a strong position. And lastly, you must try to find the purpose of life on a spiritual plane. Lord Agni is ruling Vishakha, and Jupiter's presence in this nakshatra can lead you on that path. Saturn Vishakha, in my view, indicates you're ready for a big fight. Not only for a big fight, but also for a long drawn fight, which is going to test your physical and mental strength. You're ready for such battles. Resilience, persistence, determination are going to be seen in your character. I had earlier shared two great examples, Margaret Thatcher and Steve Jobs. If you study their lives, they have been very resilient. Whatever you're going to end up achieving in life, whatever position you'll end up holding in the society, you'll fight for that position. By the end of it, you can say, I made the effort, I fought for it, and now I'm here. Nothing, however, is going to come easy, but this position, in my view, guarantees success. If you keep working and working and working on something, you'll finally succeed. This position can lead to your future being in public service. Jupiter's position has to be seen too. Saturn belongs to the caste of public servants, and Vishakha is all about leadership. Saturn Vishakha, therefore, can belong to politicians. Your greatest strength is your consistency, your loyalty to your purpose and to people around you. People would value your partnership. If Vishakha falls in the sign of Libra, not only in your professional life, even in your personal life, your partner would see you as someone very dependable, very loyal, very committed. Vishakha is linked to addictions and extreme behavior. When Saturn is in Vishakha, you can even become a servant to the ones who are going through a difficult time, like the ones fighting addictions or the ones who have burnt themselves on a mental and physical plane in pursuit of their goals. So you can even be a social worker. And lastly, Saturn symbolizes tradition, and therefore I believe you would be a keeper of your traditional values. You'll fight to keep those values alive. That's another aspect, an interesting aspect, should I say, of this position. Rahu Vishakha firstly leads to obsessive behavior, obsession to be in a position of a leader, obsession for success, obsession to make a name for yourself, obsession to defeat your enemies, and that obsession needs to be defeated by yourself. Jupiter's position here becomes extremely critical. The native can go to the extreme in pursuit of one's goals. The native can go to the extreme to defeat one's opponents. On the bright side, the native can achieve extraordinary things. The native can win battles which were very difficult to win. The native can defeat opponents who were classified as undefeatable. So it has both sides. Immorality and addictions are directly linked to Rahu, and that would remain the major challenge a Rahu Vishakha like native would have to overcome. If it's the sign of Scorpio, the native can be an excellent strategic planner, but at the same time can resort to manipulations. So a Rahu Vishakha like native, even though capable of achieving extraordinary things, would need proper guidance. And lastly, I believe the native may also find oneself under some delusion that by achieving this position I might find happiness in life. And that delusion is also something the native would need to overcome. A Ketu Vishakha like native can make an excellent strategic planner for any kind of battle one is fighting. Ketu is known to possess piercing logic, and that logic would be behind your strategy, whether that is linked to money. Ketu Vishakha, particularly in the sign of Scorpio, like native, can be excellent at understanding market trends, or the person can be a war strategist, a business strategist. Ketu is known to also go to the extreme, like Rahu, particularly in warfare. So a Ketu Vishakha like native may disregard again the means to the end goal, or may even plan a strategy which leaves the opponent entirely destroyed. So the native may not be renowned for one's mercy. The native can become very ruthless in pursuit of one's goals. The native may also feel inspired to find answers within. Vishakha is linked to divinity, and Ketu is all about finding answers within oneself. The native might firstly question why one is going after one's goals, what one stands to gain by going to such extreme to achieve what one is trying to achieve. Ketu is not attached to material success, so therefore all that one stands to gain on a material plane, a Ketu Vishakha like native is going to question it, and therefore the native might feel inspired to follow a path more driven by spirituality. That's my view. Hello, thank you for watching this video till the very end. At the end it started raining, so I'm taking cover under a tree. If you have any questions, please post a comment, and if you'd like to stay in touch, please subscribe to this channel. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.